I want to talk to you about why you feel guilty. I know you feel guilty about things you've done, and many of you feel guilty about what you didn't do. I know that for a fact. If you're a mother, you have what's called mom's guilt. You feel guilty that you got with the baby more. You feel guilty the baby's crying because maybe you didn't do something right. If the baby can't get enough milk from your breast during breastfeeding, you feel guilty you don't have enough milk. You have inverted nipples or flat nipples instead of protruding nipples, you feel guilty it's harder for the baby to latch. If you leave the baby with somebody, you feel guilty. See, maybe something's going to happen, and you feel guilty that you left the baby with your mother, your mother-in-law. There's no end to the guilt. Then is if the child has some kind of, God forbid, some problem, some disease, you feel guilty that you didn't do enough. Or maybe your milk wasn't good enough to give the colostrum to help beef up and strengthen the immune system. After baby falls and hurts himself, feel guilty that you couldn't prevent it. As a matter of fact, that particular guilt goes on for mothers. The child could be 10, 15, 20, and gets involved with violent altercations and goes to prison. Mother feels guilty that they didn't do enough. Just didn't spend enough time with the child, didn't give him enough guidance, didn't give him enough spiritual teachings, didn't bring him to God in some meaningful. Just feel guilty about that. Didn't have the right father with the child. The wrong man was involved. You feel guilty. So the mom guilt is very, very strong. Very strong. This feeling, I could have done more. Or it might be guilt, I used to hit my child. I think I was too severe. Mother they feel guilty. They punish too much. If they're too lenient and the child becomes disrespectful, they feel, gee, I was a marshmallow. They feel guilty about not being strong enough with the child. If you were single, you said, gee, I deprived my son or my daughter of a father figure in the home. There's no end. Absolutely no end. What I tell people is this. We do the best we can. And you moms, you did the best you can. No doubt about it. It was not enough. You could have done more. So let's look at a case for charity. Let's say somebody's a multi-billionaire. They give $1 billion to charity. They could have given more. They could have given $1 billion and $1. Could have done more. We could always do more. We do the best we can. It's never enough. We could have done more. And that's the universal condition. That's the universal condition. So if you have a belief in God, most of my patients do, beautiful human beings. So you have this, you repeat it 3 times a day and as needed. I want to write this down. God forgives me, and I forgive myself. Some people don't want to say I forgive myself because they don't really think they do. So God forgives me, and I want to forgive myself. God forgives me, and I want to forgive myself. Now, what happens within a few weeks, you don't need to say, I want anymore. In a few weeks, you're saying, God forgives me and I forgive me. But some of you need to start off with, God forgives me and I want to forgive myself. Just like you're wishing somebody well that you feel very angry at, you might say, I want to wish him well. But you'll find within a few weeks, you can say, I wish him well. That's how that works. I call it a shield penetrator when you add the I want and it penetrates through your doubt. So the mom guilt, very powerful, feeling guilty for things you didn't do, I'm feeling guilty for things you did. I see a lot of patients who are just overwhelmed at work and need time out. Some of my people work 20, 30 years, 35 years. They've never taken time off. Now they're off. They feel they've abandoned their workmate. Or if they've seen patients or clients, they feel they've abandoned their clients, their patients. So there's a work guilt. So on disability, because we tell people that you're really working, but you're working on yourself. It's a full-time job to improve yourself, full-time job for me to improve myself. I give you a lot of tools in the honor teachings how to do that. But there is a guilt. And then maybe if you come from a hardworking family, they say, well, how come you're out on disability? I mean, what's up? You feel guilty around some friends or relatives. So that's work guilt. That's another type of guilt. So there, the statement is, I'm working full-time on myself. You're learning your commands of honor. You're learning the bridge. You're watching the videos. You're reading the book on the teachings of honor. You're applying them into your life. You're texting me on how the teachings of honor, how you're applying it to your life. You're doing your exercise. You're doing your deep breathing. Coming to understand your purpose. And most of you within 3 or 4 months see tremendous progress in terms of self-respect, self-confidence, self-esteem, happiness, resilience, wisdom, closer to God. You see so many wonderful attributes developing when you're blossoming. I've been telling more and more of my patients this. I say, I know you get stressed a lot in life. We all do. You were at work. Your supervisor was micromanaging you, criticizing you no matter what you did. You felt humiliated day in, day out. And you're still dealing with that, or maybe having also, in addition to that, family problem. You came home, you weren't at your best, you were tired and angry and couldn't give the best to your family. You feel guilty about that. But you took the time now to give the time to your children, to give the time to your significant other, to give the time to your parents. I have people who told me, I haven't gone to Mexico to see my parents in over 9 years. So when I became disabled from work, psychologically disabled, so I got to see my parents first time in 9 years. I went to Mexico to see them. And they were overjoyed, and I was overjoyed to see them. So you might feel guilt about what you're not doing, but also saying, well, I'm able to give so much more to my children. I've had so many patients tell me, my greatest joy is just being able to take my children to school in the morning and pick them up. That's a luxury to me. Or to go to the sporting events when my son is playing soccer or my daughter's playing basketball or whatever it is. It's a great joy, and you're doing family work. You're doing work on yourself to make yourself a better human being. And you're taking time out to really think of what really matters in my life. What's the purpose to my life? Typically, it comes down to living with honor. Family and honor is pretty typically 2 important ingredients for almost everybody. But prior to taking this time out, you didn't even thought about it. Now, you're in the program, you know your purpose in life. Family, honor, and some people have health or some other things, but family and honor is pretty standard for most people's sense of purpose in life. Third type, I should have done more. I should have done more for my mother, my blessed mother, when she was alive. I was just so busy at work, I was caught up in that. I tried to support my family, but I should have spent more time with Mom. I should have been there on her deathbed. So I should have done more. My health is going down. I was eating a bunch of garbage all the time. Should have done more for my health. Now I'm a burden to my significant other and to my family. Should have done more for my health. Should have done more for my relationship, for my spouse. Should have done more for my relatives. Should have done more. I said, we do the best we can. It's never enough. We could have done more. God forgives me and I want to forgive myself, or God forgives me and I do forgive myself. Could have done more. Could have done more for your health, for your family, and particularly when there's sickness. My grandfather's sick, my grandmother's sick. They helped raise me. I'm so close to them. Just got so busy. I didn't mean to neglect them, but now, person is deceased or is dying, and there's a guilt. I should have been there. I should have been there. I should have done more. So certainly, having this time out on medical disability, psychological disability, allows you to be there. You're doing something where you can then give to the family to help prevent this remorse and this guilt when you didn't give enough to your loved ones. Life is short. Almost all of you, one of your priorities is family. Family is very, very important to my people. Very important. So, should have done more now. Another type of guilt, it has to do with societal guilt. People feels guilty. Look at that homeless guy on the street. It's so cold out. It's raining. It's just buying. You should do something for it. Give him some money. Give him an umbrella. Give him something. Try. Maybe you forget about it pretty soon. Well, it's hot. The guy's on a street corner selling flowers, oranges, and you end up in 100-degree sun, and she didn't give him water. He said, I should just give him some water. Didn't give him water. So you feel like you're not helping society. You're not helping the needy, the poor, the hungry, the helpless, the lonely. I should do more. So there's a guilt in terms of not doing enough for society. Another type of guilt is when you violate your own ethical code. Could be based on your religion, could be based on the honor teachings. There's a lot of overlap. You've been doing something, maybe taking something that doesn't belong to you, stealing, or stealing time from your employer where you're goofing off and wasting time that you could be giving to your employer. Or you're actually stealing money or cheating. It could be cheating in terms of your spouse. It could be cheating some other way, lying. And you feel, I'm violating my own ethical standards. And you know right from wrong, and we're choosing in those cases wrong over right. And so there's a guilt over violating our own ethical standards, our own values. And we all, at some point in life, do that. There's no exemption. At some point in life, we all violate our own standards. And there's regret about that, and there's guilt over that. Again, God forgives me, I forgive myself. And the key there is to then try to bring the way of honor into dishonorable behavior. So, well, how can I be a more honorable thief? How can I be a more honorable drug addict? How can I be a more honorable criminal? So you can bring honor into that. So maybe, say the person's a drug dealer, so say, gee, I'm getting people addicted, I'm making money, but these people are overdosing and dying. Say, well, I'm not going to sell drugs to anybody under 18. Or if somebody comes and they look like they're just emaciated and it's killing them, I'm not going to sell them drugs. I have my own sense of honor. So that's bringing some honor into criminal behavior. So honor can be brought into even wrong things, bringing honor into that. People who are alcoholics and drug addicts, and they feel bad. They feel guilty. They know they're destroying themselves, destroying their family, but they love that alcohol. They love their drugs. I know I'm not going to be able to stop them from doing it. I say, they'll stop when the time is right, when God's time, not my time. But let's see if we can make you an honorable drug addict. See if we can make you an honorable alcoholic. See if we can make you an honorable prostitute. What ways you can bring honor into that? And people find ways to do that. Alcoholics say, well, I'm a nasty drunk, so I've done drinks, and maybe drinks alone when no one's around, so there's nobody he can take his anger out. That might be one way it could be an honorable drunk. Maybe says, well, I like to go in my cabin, go up into the woods and drink, and there's nobody I can harm. Well, that's bringing honor into being an alcoholic, just for example. Now, another source of guilt is not living up to your potential. I hear this all the time. I'm at a stage in life where I should have more. I should have done more. I should be married. I should have a home. I should have my own house. I should have a good career. I don't have any of those things. I said, well, but you're an honorable man. You're an honorable woman. I say, success is not measured by what you have. If you're a woman, a gorgeous woman, and a multi-billionaire with a great career, but if a woman such as that doesn't have honor, why? She's a loser. She's a failure. Because only honor defines success. Of course, then you want to look good, make money, have a good career, but only honor. So I say, well, you are a success. I'll tell people when I see this, you've developed yourself as soul in a beautiful way. You don't have these things, but you're very successful at shaping yourself into a beautiful light by living the way of honor. So it's a very different standard, not the societal standards, but a higher standard. That helps a lot. So connected to that is people feeling they wasted their lives. Wasted my life. No, some people have, but most people know you're a good person. You're a very decent man, very decent woman. You're a woman of honor, a man of honor. It's a big achievement. Only honor makes you a success. That money doesn't make you a success. Having a beautiful home doesn't make you a success. You got the most gorgeous home in the world. In 500 years, it won't be there. You, as soul, to the extent you've developed honor and virtue in yourself, that's eternal. So we really want to put your effort into you as soul in terms of your eternal journey. That's wisdom, to seek that which is eternal versus that which perishes. So that's super important. Of course, when you feel guilt, that can motivate you to do better. It's important to set goals, reasonable goals. I can do this today. Maybe have a goal for today, the week, the month, the year, the 5 years. Having some goals that you can live to. But some people say that some people are so afraid of failure, they procrastinate, don't move on anything. So you want to be able to recite to yourself, I can, I will now. And when you say now, whatever it is, you do it. You don't say now unless you're going to move on it. Now. I'm a world champion powerlifter. When I was going to do my bench press of 365, when I was 65 years of age, drug-free, can, I will. Now, boom, when I say now, I'm all in. When I was turning 70, we had 14,000 pounds of trucks. It was two F-150 trucks yoked together. When I said now, I didn't know I could do it. I never even tried it. Boom, and it moved, it went. So once you see now, you're in. But the guilt of not doing things because you're afraid to move on it, a lot of people are afraid of not doing it right. I tell people this: make some plans, jump in, mess it up, clean it up. Plan, jump in, mess it up, clean it up. And when you live this life, then coupled with the teachings of honor, it's a life of no regrets. No regrets. So when you live a life of honor, that means you're going to live by the 4 commands of honor. I've taught many lectures which tell you what the 4 commands of honor are. And as you live by that, it's a path of no regrets. Now, we all violate our own ethical system at times. That's okay. We're human. People say to me, Dr. Nerenberg, how you doing? I say this: I'm good, bad, happy, I'm sad, all things human. Just want to normalize the human condition, what you go through, your failure, your successes, your inconsistencies, your wrongness, the human condition. The key is to get back up, have a plan for how you're going to get back up, and then bring the honor teachers into that and move in that direction. And the Holy Spirit will assist that. God will assist that. You don't believe in God? You can say, well, the universe will assist that. The universe will foster your virtue to the extent that you seek to be virtuous and noble. We are a noble being. You're noble. People pretend to be better than they are, like they know more than they know, or they're more virtuous than they are. I tell people this. I say, you know what? You are far greater than you pretend to be. You are far greater than you pretend to be. That's the irony of it. What a noble being you are. It's hard for us to see the nobility of ourselves, but it's there. I see it in my patients. Oh, beautiful people, lovely people. What a great privilege it is for me to know the beautiful human beings that I talk every day. Wow, it's a calling, it's a destiny for me. I pay to do this. It's so pleasurable, so important to me. So there you have it. 6. Feeling guilty, best ways to deal with 6 types of guilt, some ways of dealing with it. I came up with the title because I was talking to Amber, our nurse practitioner, one of our nurse practitioners here. So what do you think's an important topic to give people need? At the same moment, I thought guilt, and she said guilt. I said, yeah. So I just created this presentation for you. I know it's going to help you, and I know it's going to help you a lot because I know so many of my people feel guilty. Very common experience. Very common. Well, it's been my pleasure, my enjoyment to be here with you and talk with you. We're now going to open it up to our beautiful, wonderful audience. And keep in mind, when you speak or you ask questions, people benefit as much or even more than when I speak. You're the real main speakers of here. It's you. So, if you have something to say and somebody else is talking, maybe make a note. And when there's a quiet space, then bring up what you have to say. And a lot of you have things you want to say, but you don't because others are talking. Just bring it up when things calm down, when things finish up with the people who are speaking. So with no further ado, we'll open it up to you lovely people to share with us what your thoughts are, your questions and comments about the presentation.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg.
Let's get one and a second come right behind you. Go ahead.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, this is John.
John, as always, John, always. I love getting your texts and I love getting your input. So what are your thoughts, John?
My thoughts, I definitely feel I definitely have that guiltiness with being out of work, maybe, again, not spending enough time with somebody. But with this program and with everything that I've learned so far, we always try to do our best. But we're not superhuman. We're not gonna get everything done at one time. We just have to trust ourselves and keep moving.
And whatever you do, it's never enough for all of us. That's the human condition. We could have done more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
God forgives me and I forgive myself. Or if you don't believe in God, well, I forgive myself. Or I want to forgive myself. You have to go to that self-forgiveness. I wish myself well. And you show that you love yourself by living with honor. Self-love is to live with honor. That's the best way to love yourself. Very good, John. Very, very, very good. Thank you so much, as always, for your beautiful, wonderful comments.
Doctor.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Doctor, this is Tony Cobos.
Tony, very good to hear from you, Tony.
Yes, how are you, boss? Thank you, Doctor.
Well, if you ask me how I am, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm all things human. Yeah, I got to get that in again.
Sorry, right now I'm dealing with a little stomach, like a stomach flu right now going on and a little headache. But
yes.
I miss your beautiful sessions, so I'm going to make it quick. I like the way you say societal guilt is very true because sometimes we feel guilty even for people that we don't have nothing to do with them. But I feel like the guilt because sometimes I feel like God has blessed us with a lot. And it's not fair to see, like, for example, I want to give a little example real quick. I was one day eating I cooked one steak with broccoli on the side, very nice. I was on my room watching TV on my window, and all of a sudden I look at the window and I saw this old lady, she probably was about 60 years old, so I'm pushing a cart. with cans, and like cans.
Yeah.
Homeless lady, and it was cold, and it broke my heart, and it broke my heart. How come I deserve all this? She doesn't, and it made me feel guilty.
That shows, Tony, what a good heart you have. You didn't say, well, who cares about her? She's not my mother. She's not my father. Not my sister. I don't really care. You care. So that societal guilt is a good thing. Here's the problem. We'd all like to give money to a charity to look after them. But the problem is most of us don't trust the charity. You say, well, I don't know if it's going to go to that person. So the only option you have is to take a steak or some broccoli and run outside and give it to her. And that's the honorable thing to do. And maybe you didn't do it then, but in the future, you have a steak. If you don't want to give the whole thing away, cut it in half, take whatever you have, and run down. And if you can't find the person, well, at least you tried. It's not enough, but it's the best we can do. And we would give more to charities, but we don't trust the directors. We hear these stories about how it's all going to pay these expensive executives and whatnot. Doesn't make it to the people. That's the problem, is we don't know what's happening. There's a breakdown of trust, and that's the problem. Yeah, that's fine if you feel some guilt. But next time, run out, throw an overcoat and a hat on, and run out. And if you can't find it, well, at least you tried.
Well, I done it, doctor, but I was crying.
Well, that tells me that you're a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man, just beautiful. And we need more people who will cry for the destitute and the poor and the hungry and the cold and the lonely. See, right along with that kind of life is not just the physical hunger, the emotional hunger, the loneliness, and even going and talking to a little bit and giving her something and, maybe taking her into a grocery store and getting her what she needs or, something. We just do what we can. It's never enough, but, we try to do something. And that's good that you felt that you've helped people. And I know you're going to help a lot more people in your life. I know that because of the feeling you have in you. So I would say that your guilt is a good guilt. That's a gift. Your guilt is a gift because it's going to motivate you to do more good. That's beautiful. Yeah. You're a beautiful man, beautiful human being. And it's a pleasure to know you.
And I probably speak for myself, but it probably relates to a lot of people where sometimes we feel guilty because sometimes you could have, should have, should have done it. You know what I mean? Like in the moment, you just saw something that you could have do something about it, but you didn't. And
I have to tell you something. When the supremacy of honor code is honor before pride, honor before anger, honor before sex, honor before money, honor before time, and honor before time and convenience, honor before everything, honor before fear, honor before life itself. Now, one of the ones that I use, honor before time and convenience. It's not really convenient to run out and do that for a dog or a cat or a human or whomever. It's not convenient. It's a pain in the neck, really. But once you say honor comes before that convenience, you'll do it. In fact, I do it. I do it a lot. It's a pain in the neck, but I do it. And it's not convenient at all. And sometimes my wife says, what are you doing? I say, I got to get out and help that guy. And my wife's upset. I'm getting out of the car. We don't know what's going on. I don't care what happened. She says, well, maybe he's going to attack you. I said, well, let him attack me, but I'm not going to let him lie there. There was a guy laying on the ground. I jumped out of the car. We were right on Painter Avenue, right by Painter and Whittier Boulevard. I jumped out, went across the street. I said, hey, brother, you need some help? So I helped him get up and helped him walk for a while. And he kept stumbling. Then he was walking. And my wife said, why did you do that? I mean, well, he could have, he might have attacked you. So I said, I had to do it. But the more you practice this, the worse you feel if you don't do it. So I do all kinds of things that I absolutely don't want to do. But the more you're following the path, you do these things, not because it makes you feel good. It didn't make me feel good. I didn't like doing it. But honor demands it. So I have a list of 24 demands of honor, and that honor demands doing it. So we do it because honor demands it. Simple as that. Not because you feel good, not because God's going to let me in heaven because of it. Just the honor demands it. End of story. No, not wanting any reward or wanting any recognition. Honor demands I do it. Honor is when nobody's looking. You do it. You just do what honor demands, and it's a great way of life. It can be a pain in the neck. It's not one that gives you necessarily pleasure or even satisfaction. You say, "Well, you must feel good. You helped that guy." No, I didn't feel good. I mean, it was a pain in the neck. Went up, got him up. He was stumbling. He was walking.
Yes, sir.
And I went back to the car. And in fact, it not only didn't feel good, my wife was upset with me because she had to park in a bad spot. Traffic was coming. Maybe it wasn't the best thing for my wife and my stepson in the car. So, it might even lead to problems. I mean, but honor demand, and I do that all the time. Situation. But thank you for speaking up.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it so much.
Appreciate you so much. Very good. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
How's it going, Doctor?
Yes, who's
Jerry?
Jerry, the Justice Warrior, my brother.
One thing I would do when I was feeling really low is, this is just a sidebar. I remember I would drive at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, pick up a bunch of food, and just drive around looking for homeless people. And I'd give them this is when I was bringing honor into my alcoholism and drug use. I was like, do you want drugs? This is what I would say this. Do you want drugs? Do you want alcohol, food, or money? And if they ever chose food, I'd give them all of it, except for the drug.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I would do. And then I eventually, obviously started to go away from that life. But anyway.
Well, hold on. Let's just stay with that for a minute. See, that's a beautiful thing to do. Sometimes after I eat, I've got a little bag of food I want to give to a homeless guy. And guess what? You can't find a homeless guy when you want to find one. So I walk around, there's no one to give it to. But when I'm not looking to give something away, I run into a lot of homeless guys, and that's a different story. It's a funny part of that. But go ahead. That's a great point. That's a beautiful thing, Jerry.
Usually made their night, because it was always at night and the dead of night, like Batman. Not to compare myself to Batman, but what made them the happiest was the music. No matter what I gave them, I always asked them to pick a song. What's their favorite song? I got a lot of good music from homeless people,
and they like the music.
I'd pick a song and I would just turn it all the way up, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever we happen to be, under a bridge somewhere, and they would just and you just see the joy come over them, and that made me feel really good. That fed my soul.
That's a good thing. Let me tell you something. I remember when my wife had this pack of cigarettes. I think, I don't know if she found it or was my brother-in-law's cigarettes. So she took a pack from him. And she said the thing that made the homeless people happiest when she'd give them a cigarette, she'd offer food, water. No, she'd offer them a cigarette. They would light up. Even though it's not good for them, but they were so happy to get a cigarette. But the song is, I got to tell my wife about the song.
Music.
That's a
good.
Anyway,
what I really wanted to say, was my original intention was just to bring it back to guilt. Guilt is so heavy. And as most of the people that are in here, we carry a lot of things for other people. We carry the things for ourselves silently. And when it comes to guilt, when it comes to apologies, you want to give a genuine apology. You want it to be accepted, right? When you forgive, you want it to be accepted. So, God forgives you. And if you still want to forgive yourself, then you will eventually. But when you forgive yourself, accept your forgiveness. Accept that apology that you're giving. Accept it. Because there's a lot of power in accepting that forgiveness that you're giving yourself. And then you're truly, genuinely forgiving yourself. Because a lot of people will say, I forgive myself. But you don't really forgive yourself yet. You still want to.
That's why, yeah, exactly right. That's why I want to forgive myself. Now, the other thing is, if you feel guilty because of something you did to somebody or something you said to somebody or did, one thing to say, the laws of humility. I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. I'll never do it again. Please forgive me. I've not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. I repeat that every day. So I'm always ready to apologize. I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. I'll never do it again. Please forgive me. I've not always lived with honor, but I'll die with honor. A shorter version is, hey, I apologize. Please forgive me. That really, when you go, I apologize, that's good. And you say, please forgive me, really takes it to another level. And when you do that, that will release your guilt, especially if the person accepts it. Most people will. And then that's another way to relieve your own guilt, by apologizing and repenting. Repentance and changing the wrongs that we've done and making up for it. Repentance is a great cure for guilt. Very good, Jerry. Jerry, the things you say and the things you inspire me to say, it's just beautiful. Thank you, Jerry.
Dr. Nerenberg, Diego here. By the way, I just wanted to say, Jerry, I really always enjoy what he has to say. Always a deep person, just like myself. I can relate to you there, Jerry, and really appreciate everything that you say. And, I know it comes from the heart there, my man. Doctor, today's topic really resonated with me. Suffering from guilt is something that I've always that I've always had to deal with. One of the things that I had to deal with a few years ago was survivor's guilt. My brother passed away. That was one thing. I was like, I had to ask one of the things I kept asking myself was, why did he have to go and why did I have to stay? He's a family man. He left 2 kids behind. He was young. But why did he have to go and why did I have to stay? So, it's just things like that, and also some of the mistakes that I've made in life as well. I've had to suffer from those, just the guilt of the pain of suffering I had to cause other people because of my actions.
Now let me take a moment right now. You're saying a lot of things. There's so many. It's so packed what you're saying. I want to interrupt and give you this. Firstly, I'm going to give you a different view of your suffering. Guilt is a form of suffering, and the wrongs that you've done, the wrongs that I've done. I want to tell you the guilt, maybe even shame. It's a gift. The suffering in whatever form, guilt being one form, is a gift. Gift from the universe, if you believe in God as I do, a gift from God. One of the thoughts that I use, I recite regularly, God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. So when we suffer, we turn to God more. You have guilt, we turn to God more. It's good for us. This suffering, it's a whole different view. I was moving towards this slowly over many years, but at this point, I recognize when I'm suffering, I'm going through something, I say, this is a gift from God. And one of the thoughts I use is, I hope to come back much stronger than ever, God willing. If you don't believe in God, you go, I hope to come back much stronger than ever. The other thing you could do when you go through guilt or suffering of any kind, you go, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this situation? So I have to tell you, the suffering, including guilt, is very good for you. I know it doesn't feel good. I didn't say it feels good. It's not pleasant. Nobody wants it. But you have to understand that without this suffering, whether it's guilt or any other negative emotion, you cannot develop wisdom. You must suffer to develop wisdom. You must suffer. Without wisdom, you will never develop wisdom. Without suffering, you can never have compassion for another. So through your suffering, you're going to become stronger in terms of wisdom and stronger in terms of compassion for others who are going through something like what you went through. So it doesn't make the suffering go away. It just has a different perspective on it while you're in it. And I can tell you, I live this, and it speaks some light into the darkness. The key is, when we use the methods that I'm talking about that all work, it doesn't make the guilt go away or the suffering go away. It's a way of just speaking a little bit of light into the darkness. Speaking a little light into the darkness. And that changes the darkness. Doesn't make it go away. It just lightens it up. And that's a good thing. Speak a little light into the darkness. Beautiful thing. Please continue.
Absolutely.
Please continue, my brother.
Absolutely love your perspective, Doctor. The way that you spin it, your take on it, is just it just changes the lens that you look at things. And it's like, for example, going back to one of the commands of honor. I'm grateful from the lessons that I've gained from hardship. That's exactly everything that you said just now. Just kind of reminds me of that. So it's one of the things that I've always, to keep reminding myself as well, that these trials and tribulations, they have a purpose in life, and we need to go through these hardships in order to see the light, and in order to actually enjoy and enjoy the good times.
Well, let me tell you something, my dear brother. This life is going to be filled with trials and tribulations. You're going to suffer. You're a human being. Things are going to bother you. But again, it's really, these things are necessary for perfecting ourselves as souls. When we deal with this in an honorable way, in a godly way, in a virtuous way, we're developing ourselves as souls. We are souls. The body, all of us, will leave it in the ground. Served us well. We honor the temple, but the soul's associated with the body, and we're perfecting ourselves as souls. And the suffering is the medicine, because then as we rise above it, as we find ways to have a different view of it, we can go into gratitude and service and rise into a more honorable way of living. That's really perfecting ourselves as souls. So this suffering, which includes guilt, is all part of perfecting ourselves as souls. And be grateful. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Very good. I'm glad that command speaks to you that way.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all I have to say. I love you, my brother.
Love you. So I have to tell you, I'm so glad you're in Thailand. I feel I'm there with you. It's just, you're living at...
Doctor,
yeah.
I mean, seriously, I always remind myself how grateful I am for this opportunity. And, you know, I got to really thank you for giving me the courage, the means, and to make this dream a reality for me here. So, you know, you played a big part in this, Doctor. So you're here with me.
Well, I feel there with you. And then Michael's coming out there, and I've had some other people go out there. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Who else has something you would like to ask or say?
I'll chime in, Doc. Just real quick. It's Sean Murphy.
Sean, thank you for speaking.
Thank you for having me. I got to tell you, one of the things that I learned along my journey too, in a way of kind of getting past the trauma from the childhood and holding mom resentful and holding mom accountable for things that she had nothing to do with, was kind of being able to perceive my mother as not my mother, more like just a woman in the world who was growing up. She had me when she was 20, and she had a lot of her own trials and tribulations, as the young man had just mentioned. And, I was more worried about, what she did wrong in my upbringing in comparison to those around me, rather than look at everything she did do. So,
whoa, Sean, let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell you what the real tragedy is. If you go to most psychologists, I wouldn't do this, but most psychologists look at, your mother did that to you? That's terrible. Your mother did that? That's awful. That's what she did to you. Maybe you should just draw a boundary and just not even see it. That's awful. As opposed to, let's talk about all your mother did for you. Let's create a context of gratitude. Oh, your mother did this, she did that. And you go on, the list is practically infinite. Then you can have some complaints. But within the context of gratitude, the complaints outside of the context of gratitude is horrible. And it's quite common in our society right now. A lot of children have a real complaint about the parent, and they define the parent by what they didn't do or what they did do to them. Instead of saying, wow, mom, dad, you did all that for me. You nurtured me. Mom, you gave birth to me. I know it was painful. You breastfed me. You took care of me. You gave me shelter and food. And your own way, I know you loved me, and you were there for me in so many ways. And that's just not happening, Sean. That's just not happening. And that's a tragedy, because we're ending up with an ungrateful people, and that's a problem. Right. That's a problem. I'm really glad you said this. So thank you for naming one of the great pandemics of our times. Lack of gratitude, particularly lack of gratitude to our mother, lack of gratitude to our father. Very, very grateful to you for bringing that up.
Thanks, Doc.
No, thank you so much. That was wonderful what you said. Thank you. Anybody else have something you'd like to ask or say?
Hey, Doc, Diego here again. I just wanted to thank Sean for what he said just now, because that's also something that I had to struggle with for a good portion of my life. And I'll tell you this, when I forgave my mother, when I accepted her for what she did, and just shift the lens into being more grateful for what she did as opposed to focusing on what she didn't do and her deficiencies and her mistakes in raising me, my life became a lot more
harmonious,
a lot better. I became a lot happier.
More harmonious. I could see that. I know that. That's beautiful, and it's nice how that ties right into what he was saying. And I know that about you. We have so many wonderful comments, great contributions to the understanding of what we're talking about, great insights. And I can't tell you what a joy it is for everybody to hear what each of you has to say. It makes people feel part of a beautiful community. You're normalizing the human experience. And because of what you say, people feel less alone in their own journeys. So what you're doing right now, at Lesson 1010, is a beautiful contribution, not only to those here now, but for those possibly over the centuries who watch this video, who are going to benefit from what you've said. So you have no idea how many people will be watching this and benefiting. We have right now on these videos, on Dr. Nerenberg's Honor Movement, over 1.5 million views with over 19,000 subscribers. So it's getting worldwide coverage. Worldwide, over 1.5 million views. So things you're saying being heard all over the world and helping a lot of people. A lot of people. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Hey, Doc, Juan Soto, how you doing, my friend?
Juan, there you go. The respect for the real peace guy. Good guy. All right.
Hey, you're looking sharp like always, my friend.
Well, thank you. It's a full-time job for me and my wife to keep me here. Yeah.
You haven't gained a day since I met you.
Well, that's something. That's something. I was a lot bigger then. I'm not as strong now, but I'm a lot healthier. Thank you for that, Juan.
For your age, hey, I like to follow that line. But anyways, my thing is I raised my kids. I had 3 jobs. I did a lot for them. I'm still doing stuff for them. But sometimes you feel guilty that you didn't do a lot or you could have done more. Like I haven't, they're doing great. They got their careers going. They got the jobs going. But sometimes you feel like that you could have did a little bit more.
Well, let me interrupt for a second. Absolutely. You sacrificed your life for your family. And you know what? Typically, the children are not sufficiently grateful for that. It's just times we live in. Not great. Gee, Dad had 3 jobs so I can have all the benefits that this country has. And I can go on and make a success of myself in this world. Dad was part of that, a big part of it, because Mom was a part of it. But Dad did so much to make that possible. 3 jobs to take care of us. But as I said, we do the best we can. It's never enough. We could have done more. You gave a lot. You could have done more. Or you can say, God forgives me, and I want to forgive myself, or I do forgive myself. But you have to realize, if you were without those children, a single guy, you wouldn't have had 3 jobs. I'll tell you right now, Juan, you would not have had 3 jobs. You'd have been going out with the guys, go to the bar, do something. You'd have been goofing around. You wouldn't have 3 jobs. You did it for your children. How noble. It wasn't for you. You did it for them. It makes you kind of a martyr, giving your life, working like that for the family. Shows you're a good family man. It shows that as selfish as we are, we still sacrifice ourselves for those we care about. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a praiseworthy thing. That's an honorable thing. So as I say, you're helping to perfect yourself as soul. Now, the problem is, I'm sure the children and nobody appreciates enough what you did. As a matter of fact, you don't appreciate enough what you did. And I think you have to realize you did so much. You gave so much. And you didn't ask for anything much in return, maybe just to be respected. But you probably didn't get all the respect you deserve. And I know for a fact You didn't get all the gratitude you deserve, but still you gave and gave and gave, and you got up, gave, came home tired, ate something, went to sleep, got up, went back to work every day. Wow. Now, if that's not greatness, I don't know what is. That's greatness. And three jobs, I mean, what can I say? You've done so much for your family. They should make a statue of you. There should be, dad statues, mom statues for what we've done. But typically, the children have a lot of complaints about us. That's what goes on in our society. We're going to turn that around. The Way of Honor is part of the attempt to do that. Good going, Juan. Good going. I'm proud of you. I know what you've done.
Thank you, Doc.
You're most welcome, Juan. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Hello, doctor. My name is Giovanna. This is the first time I'm speaking. I have been listening to you this whole time. And for some reason today, it just felt different than other times. And as I was listening to what you were saying just now, I have a quote that says, "The secret to a satisfying day is in your why." And why that came to mind as you were talking is because I do feel that a lot of us are often so quote unquote focused or put so much weight on the I did not get acknowledged for this. I was not thanked for this. I should get recognition for this or that. And I think that is very important for you to just be satisfied with every action that you take on a daily basis. Whatever action it is, you must know that you did whatever it was based on the information that you had and from a good place.
Well, let me interrupt you right there, because it's so important what you're saying. So important. I want to unpack it. As I mentioned before, it ties right into that. We do the honorable thing for the sake of honor, and it's if somebody shows that gratitude, like our children, that's a good thing for them to have that gratitude. It's better for them if they have gratitude. We do it anyway. We do it out of unconditional love that we have, but it's good for them. And certainly, if they don't have that gratitude, that's bad for them. As a matter of fact, you could say many children in our nation are spoiled because they feel entitled. So it's not good for them. It's better for them. Even whether it's nice for us to get it, but more than nice for us to get it, it's healthy for them to give it. That's good for them. And if they don't give it, well, that's a big loss, because feeling gratitude is the foundation of happiness. So without gratitude, they can't be really happy. If they're walking around with just complaints, I didn't get this from him, I didn't get that from him, my dad, from my mom, well, that's not a happy camper. So the acknowledgement, yeah, sure, it's nice to get a pat on the back and appreciate it. Well, that's very nice. But more importantly, it's a good thing for our children. And then I know a lot of my people who work so hard are not really appreciated by their supervisor, their boss. As a matter of fact, they squeeze all they can out of them and try and give as little back in return as possible. But they're getting a paycheck, but they feel exploited. And but at the same time, they did what they did, and they were loyal to the company. But then they find the company is not loyal to them, and so they feel betrayed. Well, these are normal human emotions. It's not reciprocated, and you're not acknowledged. You're getting a paycheck, and some people gave up their lives to work all the time and get micromanaged or humiliated. So they're not only not appreciated, they're feeling abused on the workplace. Well, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate for the people giving the abuse. It's dishonorable and not good for them. And stressing out a lot of my people that come to see me. They say, I can't take it anymore. I know people pull up to their parking lot to go to the job. They're getting a panic attack just the thought of going in and having to face not their clients or their patients, but facing management. For a lot of my people, that's the source, the abuse of their power over them. But that's the nature of what happens. But again, it's a gift because that helps you develop wisdom. That helps you develop compassion. And it also helps you say, I'm not going to take it anymore. And you find something that's more meaningful to you. And you say, I'm not going to go back to that. Start my own business. I've had people start their own businesses. And for a lot of people going through that was the best thing that could have happened to them because they said, wow, I'm now doing something much better. But thank you for that very good point. And the why is certainly important. We're doing it to support our family. We're doing it because it's our duty. And that why is important. Absolutely true. Thank you for that.
Yes, that's where I was going with the why. I think for me personally, when I am feeling that guilt, because it's so much easier. I do believe that it's easier to forgive others than it is to forgive yourself.
I think that's true.
I don't know why, but
one is knowing how to forgive yourself.
Exactly.
God forgives me, or the universe forgives me, and I want to forgive myself, or I do forgive myself. That's the start. I wish myself well, and I'm going to learn from this. I'm not going to repeat that error. So this is a gift to me, and so we have to know how to talk to ourselves, positive self-talk, where we give ourselves an honorable perspective about ourselves. Very good point. It is harder generally to give ourselves that forgiveness or any kind of positive regard than it is to give to others. Very astute observation. Excellent.
Yeah, I think that for me personally, like the best way for me to get there to that forgiveness part on my part is to just rationalize the reason why. Why did I do X, Y, and Z?
Well, the why is important, no doubt about it. And if you see the why was so you can give to your family, give to your employer, make a contribution. Once you know that's the why, the whole why or part of the why, certainly that is a very positive and valuable contribution. Thank you for adding that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
I have something.
Who's speaking?
Mario.
Oh, Mario. Yes, Mario, please.
Doc. You know, I'm hearing everybody for the last 5 months. Here's what I can say. Finally, after hearing all your teachings, forgiving myself is easy because I was bullied at work, and I can't believe a grown man can get bullied. But I overcame that August 27th around 1:30 p.m. and I got healed from that. And
what happened? How did you get healed?
Well, because you have guilt and shame because, a grown man can get bullied because, we can't do anything. I say, we say no to violence, right? But this group, hearing everybody going through all their struggles, helps in a way because I'm not the only one going through it. There's like 132 people on this right now. So we all need help. We all need to reach out. I'm just saying group discussions help, even though a lot of us are silent. There's a benefit of groups.
Mario, let me tell you, I agree. Most of that's why I say what you all are telling each other, the way you're sharing your comments of your journey makes everybody feel less alone, part of a beautiful community, and feel more normal. Hey, I'm going through this, but this is humanity. I agree, Mario, and you're saying that. I'm really glad you shined the light on that reality. Absolutely. Good, Mario.
Yeah,
thank you.
So just if anybody's getting bullied out there, it still happens to grown men. But that's because we can't resort to violence because, like I said, these people they deserve what what they get? Not really. You know, I don't think they knew what they were doing. But for myself, you know, for a lot of people that are in this group, it's for a reason. Something happened and we can't cope with it. So our coping skills got a lot better. I suffered through this pretty deep. I forgave myself, and I probably forgave them first, and I forgave myself because I said, I wish I should have said something or did something. No, you don't stoop down to those levels of those type of people, right?
I know you very well, Mario, and I know that you're committed to a Christian way of life. I know forgiveness is a very important part of your approach, and that's powerful. Forgiveness is powerful. Well-wishing is very powerful. And there's a lot of injustice in the world. There's a lot of abuse of power. And a lot of people cannot handle the power. They abuse it. Very common, more common than not. People abuse the power. And that's what happened with you.
I'm glad you say that, because now I'm in an authority level with power, and I'm as sweet as pie, because I came from being bullied at work with the management and all that. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not going to do that to nobody. And now I'm the big boss. And I just said, wow, you know, but I had to be broken first. Not that I was bullying anybody, for me to be healed. Right. But this group, you hear everybody. So I'm not the only one going through it. You're not the only one going through it. And you see, there's over 100 and some people here. We're all going through something. And by us approaching one another and speaking and having, you know, you gifted speaker shed the light on it, it's marvelous to hear that we're reaching thousands of people worldwide.
Over 1.5 million.
Yeah, over 1.5 million, because we really need help, you know, so it's a great group. I'm glad to be part of it, and just keep being blessed, and as well as the group.
Well, you know, it's over 1.5 million. And the world needs what we're saying. The things that we're talking about with the 130 of us right now, it's very universal. The guilt was there from the beginning of time. It'll be here to the end of time. These factors we're talking about are eternal in the past and in the future. I don't care how much we develop AI and everything else. Maybe AI probably won't feel guilty unless they program it to feel guilty. But maybe the thing that'll make maybe the thing that makes you, if they don't program it, maybe that's all that'll be unique about us is guilt, because they may not program AI to feel guilty. But if they do that, then they're really making them humanoid. But you know, that's the human condition. So the knowledge that we're sharing now is eternal and it's universal, and it goes back tens of thousands of years in the past and to the future. This is not just for us now. It spans that. And does it apply to other species? I think animals feel guilty. When they do something wrong, your dog's doing something wrong, or your cat, you say, hey, stop. You know, they go like that, and you feel a little guilty. You know, they went against what you said. We've seen our cat get guilty. I've seen my dog get guilty. I don't think it's unique to just our species. And some people will be saying that there's other beings on other planets. I don't know. They probably feel guilty too. It might go beyond humans. Definitely goes into animals, and it might go beyond Earth people. Because I don't really know that.
Because, like you said, you believe in God, not the one that me and you've created in our own mind or our heart. It's real, because you're a gift to all of us, because we're reaching out because we all need help. So that's an act of God, right? I mean, you couldn't have did this on your own.
Oh, no. I would say this. Any benefit you get, and I'm not saying that's a humility. It's not from me. It's from the Holy Spirit. I just follow the promptings of the Spirit. And so I'm not that good a guy. I tell people I'm not that good a guy, really. But the good thing is, because to the extent that I align myself with the Word of God, with God's will, to the extent I do that, I'm able to bring goodness to you and to bring great knowledge to you and wisdom.
And we thank you for that.
Well, I'm just a vessel for it. I'm not, even Honor Movement say, well, you're the founder of the Honor Movement. Well, not really. The Holy Spirit is. I'm simply a spokesperson. I've learned how to identify the promptings, and I'll write poetry and do different things to kind of capture pieces of that. But I'm not the source of it. But let me tell you, a lot of my productivity and creativity comes from all of you. I get a lot of text. I get your text. I write a response. That stimulates me. Then, boom, I'm writing a poem. I'm coming up with some ideas. So I've learned a lot from all of you through your experiences, combined with my 84 years of life. So to me, it's a great privilege for me to know each one of you. Being truthful about that. And the synergy, the creative flow is a great blessing, a great joy, and it has a tremendous meaning to my life. And then I try to impart that to you and uplift you as I'm being uplifted. This is extremely meaningful to me, this time together right now. Very meaningful to me. Thank you for that, Mario.
Yes, anytime.
Thank you.
I'll still send you some goodness, some goodness.
Oh yeah. Oh no, your texts are beautiful stuff. Hey, that thing I got from you, did you write that or did you quote somebody on that last one?
No, it's a little impartation, a little bit of me, a little bit of that.
Okay. I always like to know the source. People say, well, the stuff I send, did you come up with it? No, if I quote someone, I'll put quotes on it, but all the stuff is like original stuff. What you sent me was wow. So that's why I asked you when you said
it's what you sent me, and I give some thought, and I send it back.
Wow.
So I get inspired by yours.
Well, and what you wrote was that last thing you sent me was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff you sent me is heavy. That's why I say heavy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mario.
All right, will you be blessed and thank the group?
Yes, thank you to the group for sure. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Hi, Doctor.
Who's speaking?
This is April.
April, I'm so happy to hear from you, April.
Thank you. Thank you for tonight. I really appreciate it. And everything that everyone has said has really touched me. I'm struggling just with this guilt of the sudden passing of my mother. And I'm just carrying it so heavily, like day by day. I'm just looking for different ways to honor her, to remember her, do things that she loved to do, even if it's by myself, like painting, listening to her music.
What's the guilt you feel about Mom? What's the guilt you feel about Mom?
That I stepped away from her room, and when I came back, she was gone.
Okay. Well, did I send you the video, Best True Story About Death?
Yes, and I watched it tonight.
Was that helpful or not?
Yeah, yes.
So you talk to her, tell how much you love her, what you appreciate. I mean, that communion goes on. And I guarantee you, April, she will come to your dreams. You never know when.
Yeah.
Could be now, could be 20 years from now, but she will come and it will be her visiting. Usually they look younger and happier, and she'll probably have something really good to say to you. Sometimes they don't say anything, but it's like old times you're seeing that person. So the relationship is not done, and then you do good works in her name. So you do some good things, maybe it's charity, maybe it's doing something good for a stranger. You do that in the name of your mother. That's a blessing for your mother. So you can still give to her. You can still do great things for your mother, for the progress of her soul.
Yeah.
Because she is a soul. And she left her body. Her going on, for all of us, it's a good thing. I mean, it's much better on the other side, for sure. Although we fight like heck to stay as long as we can. But then when we go on, it's a great blessing. The idea is to embrace our deaths as a portal to love, bliss, life eternal, and reunion with God and all our loved ones. Right. So we embrace that as that portal. Of course, no one's totally comfortable with the idea or with that reality, but we still aspire to embrace it in that way. Thank you so much for that input, April.
Thank you.
Very lovely.
Thank you for the video.
You're most welcome. It'll be on your website.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys as well.
Excellent. Thank you, April. Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
For the people that are feeling guilt about being on disability, they need to understand that they were not on disability before they had a teeth breakdown. And I know you had one patient that had you not been on disability, you'd probably be in jail.
Oh, yes. Like he was saying that so many people came in before they had a total breakdown. People go on disability. Well, they get depressed, they get anxious, they get panic attacks, concentration and memory is impaired. But in addition to that, they reach a point where people just say, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to have a breakdown. And he was talking about the great breakdown that people have. So this is being good to yourself and good to your family, because you have that breakdown. It's not good for you, not good for your family, not good for your employer. So this was a very good decision that you have, preventing a condition from getting worse. In fact, many of you, I'm amazed by many of you, how long you put up with the despondency and the depression, the anxiety, and the abuse of power that you were able to tolerate for as long as you did. You're amazing, amazing. But even you would say, you know what, I better step back out of this for a while. Congratulations on that. Of course, you're not really going on time out. You're really going to a new job, bettering yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what you're really doing. You're really going to a new job, sort of like the way working for us, to better yourself. And as you better yourself, you're able to share that with loved ones and to help better them. It's a beautiful thing you're doing. Beautiful thing. A very good thing you're doing. Thanks for that input, Hugh, as always. Well, it's for my pleasure, my privilege, my enjoyment to present Feeling Guilty, Best Ways to Deal with the 6 Types of Guilt. Thank you.